Brian,
What's up,
take it away,
people?
my friend.
Listen, mate, just to say a few things because thankfully I didn't watch the game. I went to the protests, did that
How
with...
was that?
Well, again, there's a lot of mouth from people that say they're going to turn up and don't.
Was it busier than last week, or was it
No.
less?
No.
less
There
busy?
were people there. There were people there. Don't get me wrong, but we had a win against Brighton and everything was good because we had a 1 win. So let's all calm down because everything's forgotten about after 1 win because we can get fourth, people. We can get. Do me a favour. So been there. It was my nephew's 5th birthday today, and
Happy birthday to your
Happy
nephew.
birthday, Levi.
For the previous 4, I've been in Canada, so there was no way I was missing spending the day or the afternoon with him. Rather than going into that place, I'm gonna choose. But Ben, I told you I'm gonna try and keep my language down this time. I really am. So what can we say, Nick? You and I had this conversation this morning. I was on Spaces yesterday, and I said it when we were talking. I said this game and the next few. I think I spoke to you, Ben, yesterday on the phone. We were mentioning it, and I said these 4 games are going to come down to desire. Bournemouth, is their desire to want to stay in the Premier League bigger than the prima donnas that we have to try and get top 4 and want to better themselves, or they just want their cushy little jobs where they get their money and just play in a wonderful stadium? Well, Bournemouth got the job against Leicester last season, and last week. Well, they did this. They did today. Desire, passion. They carried on. My main source of relaying what was going on was listening to you guys, and I was literally just playing with Levi, and then I saw a few people saying 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, and I was like, no. So I went outside into the garden and watched you, and then by the time I got to the garden, Nick, your earphones have gone flying across the studio like mine have plenty of time. So yeah, that's all I need to know. Then you look forward, and people actually think we're going to go to Newcastle next week with that place rocking. And think we're going to have the desire when these players crumble away. I'll give you Sheffield United, Southampton, Milan, all these other places we go to and capitulate and crumble because, oh no, they're singing too loud. It might hurt my eardrums and I can't hear what people are saying. Then we're going to go to United. Or United are going to come to us. Yeah, all right. Then we're going to go to Anfield. People think we're going to go to Anfield and win. Yeah, because Ben, how many times have you been to Anfield and won?
Many a time.
No, that we've won.
Not once.
Brian, I've got some bad news as well. Laura's coming with me to Anfield, and every time Laura's gone, Tottenham haven't won. So
mate,
that's another omen.
I'm going to say it again. I've come on here for best part of 3 years. I think when you read out that thing, it's 30 months I've been a member for. So 30 months I've been coming on this channel. And all right, I was quoting Levy out from the very, very start, and probably the first one that came on this channel and really, really started championing it and saying it and really non-stop putting my. But I've been on here the last few months saying I'm not going to say we're going to win. I'm not going to say this is the best time to play this team. They're in the bottom. I'm not doing it anymore. And people say I'm negative, I'm toxic, I'm not a supporter, I'm not this, I'm not that. Be positive. How's that working for you? How is the positivity working for you? And now what will probably happen right now at Tottenham, you've probably got 6,000 to 7,000 people topping up money at the goal line bar and having Asian noodles or fish and chips and goddamn chicken. We have a defender in Porro that can attack but can't defend. We have Emerson who can defend but can't attack. We've got a left wing back who's had that huge crash, and God knows if that's the kind of mentality he has. We got players here like Marcus Sanchez. People want Poch back. Sanchez still here doing all this shit. Dyer, Davies, Lloris, all this shit. It doesn't matter if we get Nagelsmann, Company, Poch, the Jolly Green Giant, Captain Birdseye, Dora the Explorer, Buzz Lightyear. None of it fucking matters because this keeps happening time and time again. How can you be at home to Bournemouth when you're gunning for the Champions League? Newcastle have dropped points. There's your advantage again. The hard work's been done. Let's step up. Let's make an impact. Again, whenever these players have a glimmer of a chance to say, right, we're in this race, we're going to do it, they do this. They do this. But it's okay. It's okay. Let's all be happy and go, do you know what? we're fourth, and we got Beyonce coming, and we've got the go-kart, and everything's positive. Don't worry, Lloris is a captain. He's the captain. He's won a World Cup. He's a mess. He's a mess.
But Brian, I don't know where you're seeing all these positive fans. I haven't seen a positive fan for a very long
mate,
time.
trust me. If you go onto my Twitter feed, or when I come on, and obviously we're speaking, I'm the negative one. I'm toxic. I don't support Tottenham. I've seen, mate, there are still people there that go, yeah, top four, we're going to do it. This is just a blip. Don't worry, we'll sort it out. Like they were all saying at the beginning of the season when we click. Just wait for Tottenham to click, because when we click, that'll be great. Can someone let me know when that's going to happen?
I don't believe there's genuinely a Spurs fan over the last couple of weeks that thinks, hand on heart, we're going to get top four. They had to be trolls.
You know, but Ben, you need to. I'm not just saying to dig you. You need to take a closer look at Twitter, mate. I know Twitter is a toxic and whatever you want to say it. And look,
but just because a few people on Twitter say something, that doesn't mean that represents the fan base think.
Yeah,
that
100%.
I'm completely right. That I'm completely right, because apparently it works that way. When I'm in the minority when it comes to wanting change at this club. Apparently, because only 20 or 30 or whatever, or 60, 70 people turn up. Apparently, we're the only ones that want it. When I know for a fact,
Brian, I've just been going back the results from the start of the year.
Yep.
How we beat Man City, how we beat West Ham, how we beat Chelsea, how we beat Brighton last week. In the course of, what is it, 2, 4, 6, I think it's like 20 games in all competitions. We've won 9 of them. That's not even 50%. And obviously some of them were a Preston North End, a Portsmouth in the FA Cup, so you can take that out of it. I think in the last 10 games, we won 2 or 3 games. It's relegation form, isn't it?
Nick, you look at it as well. I was with you in the studio when we lost to Milan, when we lost to Sheffield United, and I went on those rants and said what I said and stand by what I said. And mate, it goes on. Listen, I don't understand. Let's talk about the squad we have. What has Pape Matar got to do to get back in the team? He was superb.
I think Brian, today, everyone's calling about what's Dan Juma got to get to start a game.
Well, Ben and I last week were asking the police if they saw him. They've obviously found him and dropped him off safely because.
Nice goal today, by the way, Brian. He scored a nice goal today. He scored a nice goal today.
I look forward to watching that. But you look at it, Pape Matar, when Ben and I saw him come on at Palace, he looked good. He looked good against Portsmouth when he had the full game. Okay, it's Portsmouth. He was incredible against AC Milan. Probably the only player that can leave with his head held high against Arsenal in the North London derby at home. Yet we don't see him again. I heard you in the commentary, and I keep hearing this, Ben. Last few games, I was there with you last week at Brighton. Why is Skip the most advanced player? Why is Skip leading the charge? Listen, I'm a big fan of Ollie Skips, but he's not that player. Why is he doing that? You've got players in there. Mate, I would love to see Alfie Devine for the rest of the season. I'm not even joking. Everyone knows my feelings on Alfie Devine. These players that are in the first team, they need a rocket up their arse. They need to say, just because you're Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who, as people know, is my favourite player next to Alfie, it's like you don't just play because you're Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and you're our only midfielder that's fit. You don't perform, then we'll find someone that does. Yeah. There are youngsters in there, Mundell, these players that will come on. And I spoke before with you, Nick, I mentioned it, stream, passion, desire, commitment, fight. Those youngsters will go on the pitch and do it. They may not get the result we need. They may, but at least they'll fight. At least they'll run through brick walls. Even when we had the shit teams in the 90s, one thing I will say is they gave what they could get. They ran their socks off and tried to do everything for the team. They weren't as good as the team is now, but you could never lack them on spirit. You can never lack them. They'd leave everything on the pitch. I hope and pray to God, and I'm being serious here, we get Conference League. I want them to go to all these shitholes in Europe and go sit on benches where it's minus 20 degrees and there's no under seat heating to keep your tushies nice and warm while you're on the bench, get splinters in your arse freeze and have to run up and down the pitch, get budget airlines, stay in budget hotels. They need a dose of reality. They need a dose of... Nick, sorry, but there are people.
Sorry, Brian, go on.
There are people that go to Spurs week in, week out, and they work damn hard for that season ticket or ticket. They work damn hard to be able to take their child to their first game, or their relatives, or people that they work. Even the international fans that pay ridiculous money to get flights over here to get to experience this, and travel up and down the country where people from Newcastle, people won't get back till 3-4 in the morning on Monday morning, and they'll go to work the next day because they have to. These players walk on that pitch, put in performances like this, and get a performance bonus for playing in the match. For walking on that pitch and playing, they get a bonus. They see more money in a week than a lot of us will see in a lifetime. And it's just like, and I heard you use my line, Nick, of Romero Bingo. I've just put a tweet and a poll out on Twitter to hear excuses bingo from the manager, the players, mainly Hugo Lloris and Kane, because they're the only ones that have balls to come out, or the admin team, to hear how many times we'll hear we learn from this. We go again. We come back stronger, back to work. All these nonsense bullshit lines that they feed us for that. For that.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree, Brian. I think everything you said is pretty much bang on the money. But yeah, thanks for coming on today, Brian.
Always a pleasure. Brian. And please, for Brentford and Palace, the protests are on. Help. Do something. Help us change. All I want is for this club to be goddamn successful. All I want is for this club to be challenging again, as does everyone else. And the only way we get there is, and as always, Levy out.
Go. You